Hello everyone. Today's a special day. I got a special pen. Yeah, I know, I've gotten special pens a lot lately, but this one's really special. So here's a question for you. If you had two fancy pens, two pens that were expensive and probably a bit beyond, or a lot beyond what you would have thought you'd spend on a pen when you're a kid, or a young adult, what would those two pens be? And what I found is that there's usually two that everyone who's into fountain pens seems to think are the two that you need to get. And those two are the Montblanc 149 and the Pelikan M800. That's weird, I reckon. You know why? Yeah. The Montblanc 149 is a big pen, and the Pelikan M800, it's a big pen, but it's not a Pelikan M1000. So what gives? Why do people seem to say you've got to get an M800 but a Montblanc 149 and not an M1000? Can't get a straight answer out of anyone. I find it's really strange. I don't think it's a price thing. I don't even think it's, popularity thing. I don't know what it is. And I thought, well, I'm not going to get the M800. I'm going to get the M1000 because that makes most sense to me. And yeah, sure, it's a bit more expensive. It's the one that people don't seem to think you should be getting, but I did it anyway. And I'd be really surprised if I'm going to regret it. Let's go through those pens. Firstly, with an unboxing of the Pelikan, because I've been waiting for you guys. So should we do it now? What do you reckon? Yeah. And here's the box. Yep. Same as most of them, apparently. I'm told that all the Pelikans come in one of these. All right, well, let's get into it. So what do we got first? We've got this nib check that was done by Larry Post, the people in Australia there that I bought this pen from. So I'm a left-hander, as you probably have worked out by now, and these guys offered a free adjustment of the nib to make sure that it was ready for someone with a munted hand like myself. So there we are. It's a box in a box. Nice little box here. This Pelikan. It's got, what's going on there? Magnets, is it? Yeah, magnets. Yeah, nice. Look, yeah, you can see them. Magnet here, magnet there. Very nice. Passion. It's also very nice. I like passion. I like pleather as well. Look at this. It's quite a nice sleeve there. Is it velour finished? Yeah. It's a velvety feel. Ooh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Looks just like my Admox, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a bit cheeky. Yeah, anyway, here we are. Let's get it out. What have we got? Yes, it's the green one. The one with the green and black stripes here. So it's classic Pelikan one, yeah? That's the classic design. It's either the green or the blue. No, you know what? It's the green. Green's the classic. The absolute classic. And what else is classic? Let's check this out. Oh yeah, look at that nonsense there. My goodness. What a nib, hey? What a nib. Come on, focus please. Thank you. Yep, that's a broad. That is a broad. It's a very beautiful pen. Can't wait to use it. Should we get some ink into this absolute beast of a pen? What do you reckon? Right, so the Kujaku, one of the Pilot Roshizuku inks, is one of my favourites. Looks probably a bit bluer in this video than it does in real life. I can assure you this is more of a green than a blue, but also that sheen there that you get with the red is just spectacular. Not that you get it all that much with a pen, but when you do a nice big swatch like this with a fountain pen, it looks absolutely glorious. Anyway, that is the juice that is now filling this gorgeous M1000. So shall we just write a few words? Here we go. Yep. Amazing. Yeah, it's definitely a broad. That's exactly what I was hoping to get from that nib. Absolutely incredible, isn't it? Look at that line width. Oh yeah, what about, so how flexible is the nib? So I've heard that it tends to deform if you don't watch it, so yeah man, that just wants to bend. It just wants to flex. Look at that. Zoom in a bit, here we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, look at this. And pull. There's no effort on that whatsoever. That ink just falls out of this pen. Oh, the noise. Listen to that. Wow. You know what? That isn't scratchiness. That is resonance. At the end there, listen to that. Whoa, I have never heard that before from a pen. You know, I've been told about it. I've been told that this pen sings. That the nib, when you get the paper vibrating with the tip of the nib just at the right frequency, the whole thing just vibrates in your hand and gives off this incredible feeling. And I tell you what, I wasn't expecting it, but that just grabbed me right there. You know what? I want to put it up against the Montblanc right now. Let's do it. I'll go and find it. Hang on a tick. I'm going to do one better. Look at this. So what have we got here? The M1000, so pen of the day. And right up against, yeah, Montblanc 149. So here are the two big ones. Here are the ones that everyone reckons are the two to get. Oh no, sorry, what was I saying before about the M1000? No, it's the M800. All right, so this is the Montblanc 149, Pelikan 1000 there, the M1000. If I take the caps off and we look at the nibs, what do we got? I'm going to have to zoom on that. Yeah, okay, so the Pelikan, tad larger. Not much though. Let's line them up perfectly there. What do we got? Come on. Yeah. Yep. All right. So, yeah, it's a bit better. Yeah, it's a bit bigger, isn't it? Not much. Very, very close. I wish I could focus a bit better than that. A little more brightness. There we are. Yeah. So there we are, the two big honking nibs. Both are broads. You just heard the noise come out of the Pelikan. Let's see what the equivalent noise is out of the Montblanc. So I reckon it is almost silent compared to the Pelikan. Let's have a listen. Okay, the Pelikan, equivalent, same force. Yeah, wow, completely different. Totally different feel. Yeah, I'm sure you can hear it as well. That Pelikan just vibrates as it goes across the page. The Montblanc is almost silent. So what do I think about it? Well, I actually prefer it, to be honest. I think I'd always thought that the vibration or the scratchiness was always going to be a bad thing, but now I actually prefer it. So what do we got here? So these two here are almost identical to the M800, right? So dimensionally, they are the same as the Pelikan M800. So if we have a look against the capped M1000, yeah, I mean, there's not a huge amount in it, right? Like they're both very big pens. And if you compare it against the Montblanc, so get the Montblanc capped up again, look at the two here. So, you know, it's actually, what is it? It's about the same length as the 1000, but the nib is huge. And if you look at the M800, I mean, it's not the Pelikan nib, it's a Schmidt right now, but gives you an idea of the relative dimensions here. If we use that pen, just for comparison, yeah, see, so it sort of vibrates as well, but not really, it's quite a bit stiffer than both of those other two pens. So the big ones there, because they've got these gold nibs that are so large, the vibrating, the resonant frequency can be quite large as well. So this thing, you know, less harmonics. It's kind of like the difference between a violin and a cello or a double bass. You know, you've got more dimension you've got larger size to get that harmonic through, so you can get sort of bigger resonance. Still very pretty, but I tell you what, I comparing that in dimension, so in size, to the M1000, I mean, I just wouldn't pick the M800. I would always pick the M1000. It just feels nicer for my hand. I mean, I've got a big hand, that's the other thing. You know, it really is quite a large hand. And the Montblanc 149 certainly is preferred over the 146 for me. And, you know, maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe the nib on the M800 Pelikan is nicer or something. But I reckon it's going to take a lot to change me away from this pen. I think the M1000 is perfect. You know, the other reason that I got the M1000 instead of the 800 is that there are so many more options for variety in the 800. I thought if I because I want to get the green, you know, this famous kind of green stripy pen. I really wanted one like that. But I'd feel like if I got the 800 with that finish, then I'd probably be wanting to get something a little fancy in terms of the finish. Like there's a beautiful Blue Dunes one in the 800 that comes slightly like, pretty much like this, right? And I think this is gorgeous. And I reckon when I do get an M800, it'll be one that has a bit of a special finish to it. Something like this, or I don't know, there was a cracked ice one, or it had sort of a brown finish, or there's some, I don't know, various colours that you can get, and you don't have to pay crazy amounts of money relative to the default retail price. But you know, this M1000 is significantly more expensive, and you know, there's just not that many options for variety in it. I saw there's a brown, I forgot what they're called, but yeah, a brown sort of crushed ice looking one that doesn't have any of this finish here, quite a modern look, and that was many hundreds of dollars more if you wanted it. And I thought, nah, I'd rather get a fancier M800, maybe on eBay, second hand. There's a lot more of those around. So yeah, that's where I think we're at. I just don't understand why. Oh, because that's the other thing. So the people who say, oh yes, so the 149 is amazing and you absolutely have to have it, right? So you've got this big size 9 nib, and likewise with the M1000. And then the same person says, and then you go out and get yourself an M800 Pelikan, right? Because the best nib in the world, fantastic. And you go, but like, the Montblanc 146 has a similar sized nib to that. Why aren't we getting one of those? I mean, is the nib not great in the 146? Of course. I mean, it is. It's fantastic. So why the 149? I mean, it's the same person, right? Like, I could understand it if it was people who were fans of Montblanc, who just have a thing about bigger, right? Like, and then you got the German, the Pelikan, who, you know, those people might prefer to get a smaller one. But it doesn't hold up because it's the same people, you know. It's the same person who says, oh, yep, I want a 149 and I want a M800. I don't know. It's cognitive dissonance to me, I tell you. Yeah, it really troubles me because it doesn't make any sense. And I don't like it when something doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Let me know, please. Give me some comments. Give me some feedback. Tell me why you love these pens or why you would prefer an M800, because I still don't get it. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.